Hitman is one of my favorite game series, and IOI has done a great job reinventing this old-school, slow-paced, plan-and-execute stealth game to fit in with modern gaming. Stealth games tend to die miserable deaths, slowly withering away as funds dry up, or suffocated by the huge publishing arms that view stealth games as seemingly even more niche than they actually are. Others still are rebooted poorly, only to be unceremoniously crammed back into the mass grave of failed stealth games. Not so with Hitman. Hitman has endured, even going so far as to recover from the seemingly fatal illness that was Hitman Absolution. The new series, culminating in Hitman 3, has managed to rekindle the clever, satisfying, and often ridiculous charm of the Hitman franchise, with the conclusion providing enough story and action to feel satisfying without pulling an Absolution. The World of Assassination trilogy has gotten a lot of press and a lot of positive attention since it released in 2016, and I'm gonna try not to get too hung up on that. What I want to talk about is the slightly more abstract elements of Hitman that give it an appeal that seems to go above and beyond other stealth games. The reasons, I think, why it has outlived many of its peers. I'm not going to take this time to get down into the detail of all of the Hitman 3 or even the previous Hitman levels. Part of the fun of the game is to experience and explore those levels for yourself, to understand them and make them your playground. If you haven't played the games, I want you to experience that. If you have, you already know what I'm talking about, and I don't need to explain it to you. So let's skip that and try to focus on what makes Hitman a unique and interesting video game. The first reason is that it isn't actually a stealth game at all. Well, I mean it is, but it isn't in the same strict sense that other stealth games are. There are many stealth action games. There are many stealth horror games. Many stealth pseudo-fantasy games, but Hitman is a stealth, point-and-click adventure, trial-and-error puzzle, slapstick comedy game. Now, that's a lot of things, but it works for Hitman. Sure, you could run up to some asshole and put a couple rounds in him, pop him in a dumpster, and call it a day, but any jerk-off with a gun or a knife or Napoleonic gun emplacement can kill somebody. Your job is to make it an accident, or sometimes just to make it ironic. Fuck it, drop a moose on the Swede. His Volvo isn't here to save him now. That is where puzzle solving, experimentation, and exploration come in. You have to take the time to surreptitiously examine your surroundings, often completing difficult tasks just to gain access to further options. You have to play with how the NPCs and items interact in the game space, and then try to execute on your plan that causes all those pieces to fall smoothly into place. The spaces are detailed, dynamic, and visually amusing, from seedy alleys to ivory towers. For as fun and satisfying as many other stealth games can be for me, there are few that can garner such satisfaction from a perfectly managed murder. There are challenges, from the obvious to the absurd, that push you to manipulate the AI and environment to further your mastery of the game's stages. These challenges are often amusing, made more amusing by the lengths you have to go to in order to accomplish them. They are humorous things in their own right, but the premise of the game itself is often absurd. You see, Agent 47 is a master of disguise, even when it makes literally no sense for that to be the case. It's almost like the disguise is a decoy and actually hides his superpower, that he emits a field that causes facial amnesia.
Why don't you take a break, Corvo? We're done here for now, I think. Oh, but don't go too far. I may still need your services later.
I'll be closer than you think.
This, combined with 47's penchant for engaging in some punnery.
I didn't catch your name, Mr.
Reaper.
So, what do you do for a living, Mr. Reaper?
I'm in the retirement industry.
Leads the whole affair to take on a groan-inducing, non-serious attitude. but the game would be worse if it were serious. It is self-aware enough to lean on the absurdity that it is a video game, but it never leans so hard as to become obnoxious. The second element is the nature of the game's replayability. Not only are the challenges the game sets for you satisfying to accomplish, but there's also the matter of the idiotic challenges you give yourself. Hitman sets you in a playground and tells you to figure it the fuck out. This, combined with player-made contracts, rotating weekly targets, and limited-time rare assassinations with equally limited-time rewards, creates a game with an incredible variety of permutations. Other games do a passable job with varying playstyles or challenges, but they don't have the same replay appeal that Hitman does. These first two elements combine to create a game with a huge amount of personality. You can feed a man to a hippo. You can crush a lady with a giant Acme-style hydraulic press. You can kill a man by reprogramming a 25mm autocannon to fire on his entourage. You can help a man kill another man so you don't have to kill that man. You can make a father blow up his daughter. It's a delicious blend of creative sadism and black comedy. It is an exceptional video game experience. The final aspect is that the World of Assassination trilogy manages to stay remarkably true to the spirit of the franchise. It recaptures a taciturn style of gameplay. It is emblematic of the concepts of setup and payoff. You can spend an hour examining your environment and aligning your dominoes, crafting a beautiful, murderous masterpiece when they fall. It smooths out and simplifies the traditional Hitman formula, but carries forward the essence and much of the detail. Compare this to the deformed, fish-head-eating spawn of the Thief franchise, and you understand the deft touch required to make this endeavor pay off. The point of all this is that Hitman is a game that more people should play. It's popular, but it tends to be genre popular. I think if more people really understood the unique qualities it possesses, more people would be inclined to play it. It's fun, it's funny, it's rewarding, and it can be challenging. It will be interesting to see what IOI manages to do in a 007 game, as a lot of Hitman 3 felt a bit like demoing ideas for that project. It had all of the fundamentals of Hitman 1 and 2, but it also had scenes like parachuting into Dubai, a spy versus spy cat-and-mouse face-off in Berlin, the overall setting and style of Mendoza, the inclusion of more technological gameplay elements in the rudimentary hacking present in most levels, all of which felt like they'd be right at home in IOI's Bond game. So, play Hitman. This game has legs, and too few of my friends and associates play it. If you don't, I genuinely think you're missing out.